Have I been wasting my time all these years? Or have I been studying? I'm James DeGreek.
And I'm the DA.
And this is Man Cave Sports. DA, every single year I sit down in front of my television and I watch the spectacle or the testicle that is the NFL draft.
With the first pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams.
And this year was no different. I sat there, I watched the first round, I watched the second round, I watched some of the third, and then it goes away, just like most casual fans. But every year I sit there and I have such high hopes for some of these guys, and they end up being garbage. Just a plain old dumpster fire.
The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady.
Am I wasting my time watching the draft?
You're wasting your time being a Jets fan.
Correct the mundo.
I said it. It's pure honesty. It's what you're getting. It's your lot in life, and it's not a lot. So hang with them. NFL draft. So my thing with this, I don't think I'm not worried about the bust or like they don't turn out to be great players and that sort of stuff. I'm less worried about that. That's interesting. I don't think that's the problem with the draft. I think that's actually the fun and the intrigue of watching the draft and saying, who is your guy? Is this going to change your franchise? Is this going to ruin your franchise? And in the Jets case, it's a lot more ruin than change. Right? Or just keep the train rolling. Like we suck. Let's keep going for this. Oh, it's going to change. Oh, we got a blonde kid from Utah. It's going to change. No. Anyways, the main problem with the NFL draft is that we put so much stock into watching. It takes so long. It's really not a great presentation. They do a great job of as good as it can be. I mean, the MLB draft is brutal to watch. And I'll say this, they do a great job as much as they can with what it is. But the amount of time between picks, the people that go there, like I've heard horrible ideas. Like it's brutal to go to the NFL draft. What are you going to do? Wait for that one guy that your team's going to pick? We already know who basically is going to go first overall all the time. And then they draft an offensive lineman, and you're like, well, I know we need one. Or D lineman. It's like, I get it, but who cares? Like, give me somebody fun. I do love, like, this year, like, when Atlanta, and they ended up picking Penix. Like, that was awesome.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington.
Holy wow. Smoke. And so the first stunner.
I love it.
Wow. You
Stunner
love it.
is right. I'm just saying from a stunner perspective. I love
Wow.
It was so stupid. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what that was fun to watch and to see one, we all think they're stupid. Who knows how that's going to end up? But it's so fun to see teams absolutely melt over the draft. I don't know. You got me going on the draft. I can talk about this all day long. One, the Chicago Bears absolutely screwed up by actually drafting a quarterback. They should have traded every pick, traded everything. They have so many problems. They should have traded their number one pick and gotten 5 picks. And that changes franchise. You see all this stuff. Oh, we're going to draft a quarterback. We suck at everything, but the quarterback's going to change us. Anyways, I actually like the draft a little bit. It's just too long. It's just too long.
You said so many things that I can jump on over here, so let me backtrack. Number one, I have covered the NFL draft. I covered it once in 2005. I was there the year that Aaron Rodgers was taken as the second quarterback overall when he should have went first instead of Alex Smith to the 49ers. Of course, the year that I covered it, the Jets didn't have a first-round pick. So There you go.
There you go. Why is that,
It
James?
was-
Because they probably traded something and that didn't work out.
Yeah, and then when they picked finally, they got a kicker, Mike Nugent.
That is such
Yeah.
a Jets thing to do.
You are absolutely correct. Being at the draft is the most brutally boring thing I have ever done in my life. Second, I don't care if I'm spending my time watching the draft, but the problem is I'm watching these people say that I know that this guy's going to be good and I know that guy is going to be a bust. They don't know a damn thing. A few years ago, they were talking about the quarterbacks. You had Josh Allen. You had Josh Rosen. You had that bum that the Jets ended up picking up. Then you had that idiot that is now in Tampa Bay that got picked up by the Cleveland Browns first overall. They all suck, with the exception of Josh Allen, and let's see what he does this year without Diggs in that lineup, catching the ball for him. It's a giant crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot to a point. It's to a point.
To a point, 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks I just mentioned are garbage. Darnold, no good. Baker Mayfield, garbage. Yeah, he signed the 3-year deal, but he's not a good quarterback. I remember years ago, they were talking about, should we get Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota? What have either of those guys done? You go and you pick Jamarcus Russell, number 1 overall. Garbage.
Garbage.
You go to other positions. Jerry Jeudy was supposed to be game-changing. Garbage. You know that. You're a Broncos fan.
I have a hard time saying garbage. Here's the problem with football. Here's one of the main problems in football is that the guys end up going to systems. They end up being so reliant upon their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, all that stuff, but really a lot more offense. Like defense, it all plays out, and usually guys are hits when they know they're going to be hits, and a lot of first rounders on defense end up becoming pretty dang good. Offensive wise, like with offensive linemen, you end up hitting a lot more. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen are the 2 positions that they hit the most, because that changes so little to offense and defense to defense. Generally, blocking's blocking. It doesn't matter. You get the guy in front of you. There's some different schemes. You might have to move a little bit different, some different things. But the highest percentage of actually drafting successful players is on offensive line. Any position, center's the number 1, and it's all the other guys, because center's it's the most basic position. It doesn't change. And defensive line. Then it starts getting really questionable once you get to, specialty skill positions. Like DBs are usually pretty good hits. Like, they're good, you can cover or not. Safeties, they're good, and cover or not. And then it goes then you go linebackers and the star players and running backs and wide receivers. The problem with those guys is that's so dependent upon the quarterback and the system. The quarterback and the system. Like, we know their skill set. We know they can catch. It's just they go to Ohio State or wherever, Alabama, and every player on the field is better than the other team, and then they do a funny little route, and the guy's 40 yards away from the defender, and they throw the ball in the air, and everyone goes, oh my God, they're so amazing. They're not, because they're playing teams that are not as good as them all the time. Now, get to the NFL. It's the system. It doesn't matter. Some of these players are good. Jeudy, I actually think, is a very good player. Who has he had to ever give him the ball, right? What system has he ever been in that's been consistent to give him the ball consistently, to be able to get open? I'm sorry, but when you draft these quarterbacks, you're just throwing them in the systems that are already broken. It's consistent. It is absolutely consistent. When you go to teams that have a good system and then they draft players, they tend to constantly hit. I don't even think it's that the players are all that bad. I think Jameis could have been a decent quarterback somewhere. It's just 1 overall when you're an idiot and you're trying to run an offense that sucked for years. Like, it's a constant problem with the Jets. It doesn't matter who you draft. You have to change the culture, change the system. All of a sudden the Lions did it. Look at the Lions. They changed the culture, and then all of a sudden all the draft picks hit. Wow. Like, that's not a surprise. It's a culture problem. It's not a draft problem. Boom. I said it. Drop my mic. I'm going to walk away.
The problem is these stupid GMs, they don't know how to build a team. It's just like MLB GMs that sit there and say, oh, I'm going to start with pitching. No, No, you get a whole bunch of young hitters and then you get the pitching. And in this case, in the NFL, you have to have the cupboard full if you're going to bring in a quarterback. The Jets bring in quarterbacks, and there's no wide receiver, there's no running back, there's no offensive line, and you say, hey kid, go win for us. No, you can't do it. It's impossible. Who are you throwing to? Who's blocking for you? Who you giving the ball to run it down the field? If you got nothing, you can't win. Look at poor Daniel Jones with the Giants. Okay, they got him a wide receiver this time. Before they got him a wide receiver, who was he throwing to? Nobody. Guys that I used to play with at the park.
Yes, and that's why you wonder why these teams that are good constantly stay good. They have a system, they have a program put in place, they have a culture that is winning, that is going to kick some ass. And then you got these other teams that constantly keep drafting all these skill players constantly, and you start going, why are they struggling? One thing I did like, and the Browns did do this a couple years ago, they started drafting outside of those skill positions. They started drafting defense, started drafting the important positions, and then started building a team. Then all of a sudden they're competitive. Like, oh, shocker, now you're competitive, right? So to me, it's a bigger problem of team construction, like you talked about, and then find the right quarterback. I'm sorry, there are free agent quarterbacks out there that can handle almost any team and be able to handle them fine. Do just good enough. But they don't go out there and get him. They don't spend the money on that guy. They'd rather take some fresh hotshot out of a quarterback and go, oh, you're going to change our team. It doesn't work like that.
I just want to go back to what we were talking about. Whether or not it's a waste of time to watch the draft. And I'm going to sit here right this second and I'm going to say it's a waste of time. Mel Kiper has never played football, and he's going to tell me if this guy is good or not?
3 years from now, you could be looking at a guy who's certainly one of the elite top 5 quarterbacks. Look out, because skill level that he has is certainly John Elway-like.
Well, I really believe, Chris, when you look back at this trade, San Diego moving up from 3 to 2, 5 years from now, it may not look like Bobby Beathard gave up enough.
I want someone who actually knows. Give me Bill Parcells to tell me if this guy's going to be good. Give me Bill Belichick. Tell me if this guy's going to be good. Mel Kiper, you cut the crap.
Stop being an angry Jets fan. Transition. Get out of New York. Come to somewhere else and enjoy football a little bit more.
You know I'm a born loser, and I'm going to continue being a loser. I'm a Met, Jet, Knick, and Ranger fan, and that ain't changing.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button. More likes equals more great content for you. And if you haven't, subscribe now.